Alright, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to the channel. We're going to get back on this Suzuki Intrepid. No, what is this thing called? Suzuki Intruder. Intrepid is a car, I believe. We're going to be laying out the graphics for this fender. We've got it wet sanded with 600. If you haven't seen the other videos, then go check them out. That'll get you up to date where I'm at right now. But we've got this one wet sanded with 600 grit. And what we're going to do is we're going to find the center of this fender to start with. And we're going to mark that. So we're at 12 inches, so half of that is 6. So 6 inches is going to be our center line. That's an easy enough number to work with. Alright, what I have here is, it's called a Stabilo pencil. They're really cool because you can paint right over the top of them. You can also wipe them off with water. You're doing pin striping or scroll work and you want to lay out your pattern first, or you're using a grid for your pin striping, you just let your pin striping dry, and then you can take a damp cloth and wipe this stuff right off. So this one is dead on 15 inches, so half of 15 is 7.5. So we'll get our 7.5 inch mark. Now the reason that I need to know other than the obvious, the reason I need to know center is because we're going to work off of this center line to each side when we tape off our graphics. Also, for our design for our gold leaf, the pattern that will be on the front of the fender will come to a point, and I need that point obviously to be in the center of the fender. So we'll also use that mark for that. So right now all I'm going to do is find my center of my fender everywhere that I feel like I need to find it. So this one, tell you what, I might not be in frame, but I need to make sure that I get this right. So that is 15 1/4. So it would be 7 5/8 would be center. Let me check myself real quick. 15 1/4. So half of 15 is 7.5. So half a quarter is 1/8. So we'll add 1/8 to that half, which will be 7 5/8. Alright, so let's drop this. Hold our tape where we want it. Come up here to 7 5/8 and mark our center. This doesn't have to be super, I'm not laying it on there super thick. It just simply needs to be enough for me to see it. I'm talking about the Stabilo pencil. And it comes in different colors. This is on black, so obviously you would choose a color that you can see, that's in contrast with the color that you're marking on. Let's find center like this, center like this. Alright, we are at 10 1/4, so 5 1/8 will be center. 5 1/8. Alright, so we've got the center. Let's do one more right up here. This would be a good place to measure, right dead center of the fender. Make sure I'm flat on this side. Alright, we're at 19 1/4. So that would be half of 19 is what, 9 1/2? Am I correct? Half of 18 is 9. Half of 19 will be 9 1/2. So we have 19 1/4, so it will be 9 5/8 would be our center line. I've been up all night, guys. I just got off work a little while ago, so bear with me. My brain is not 100%, so you'll just have to bear with me while I double check myself. Right now, a little bit tired. It's my only day off, so I've got to keep plugging along at this thing. But bear with me while I double check myself. It'd be easy for me to make a simple mistake. Alright, now basically what we're going to do is we're going to run 2 pieces of tape all the way the length of the fender. And we're not going to use the whole length of that fender, that whole space, but I need to mark out the center section of the fender where the artwork is going to be. Alright, so we'll come out. I'm thinking I want a little bit of that fire in the curve. I'm thinking. So we'll come out 3 inches on each side. Three inches are a simple number to work with. Is that where I want it? Yeah, yeah. I believe it is. Come off 3 inches from here. That'll give this radius here, it'll give a nice little effect when the sun hits it off those true fire flames. I think it'll look pretty good. Alright, now we want to come over on this side 3 inches. Right here, 3 inches. And we'll do this side. I've been sort of going over this in my head, trying to settle on a finished plan for the artwork. And I think I've got it. I believe I do. Alright, so for right now, and any of you guys doing airbrushing, graphics painting, stuff like that, these things, these flexible tapes, they're super handy. You can get them at your sewing store, hobby store. Hobby Lobby is actually where I got this one. They're super handy. Alright, we're going to lay our pencil down. We're going to grab our yellow 3M masking tape. I'm checking myself. Bear with me. I believe we're going to wait on the masking tape. I'm not really happy with the from from masking tape, it doesn't leave a real sharp line. So I've got this vinyl fine line. Well, before I tear the packaging off, I'll show you what it is. Made by 3M. It's a vinyl tape, and it leaves a much better finish on the edge. Oh, I forgot to mention, I've already done my wax and grease remover and my tack cloth. That was the very first thing I did. Alright, so what we're going to do, we're going to lay this down. Just like so. And we're just going to follow our marks. Now this particular guy, we'll call him my client, a buddy of mine, he doesn't want hard lines. So what I mean by hard lines, we're not going to be, while we may get paint over this direction towards the tape, we're not going to focus on full coverage all the way over to the tank, even though in spots we will, because he wants all of his edges shadowed in. So he doesn't want to necessarily see the edge of the paint. And I guess typically when you have a flame job in the center of a fender, you would either have like a pinstripe line to outline your artwork, or you would pinstripe the actual edge of the flames around your artwork. And so this is a little bit more challenging. It's not really that big of a deal. But one thing that is a little bit beneficial to that is your paint lines, your tape lines, I mean, don't have to be dead on the money perfect, because any line that is there is going to be shadowed out. So that's a benefit. And basically what I'm doing is allowing the top of the fender to shape the paint itself. I mean, sorry, not the paint, the tape itself. I don't want to touch the tape any more than I have to, because inadvertently I will change directions of the tape and bend it. And I don't want to do that. So if you'll notice, I just basically laid the tape over it and let the fender itself guide the direction of the tape. Yeah, I believe for now that'll work. Alright guys, hang tight and I'll be right back. Alright guys, I got this thing taped up. I didn't really see no sense in you watching me sit here and tape up a fender. But we've got some opaque white, reduced, probably about 20% reduced with the 4012 reducer, and we've got our stencils here. So down in here we're going to have a lot of white, because your candy doesn't show up on black. It's got to have a lighter color, you know, anything other than black basically. But so we're going to add a lot of white in this region down here, and after we come off of this white, we're going to go into our flames. Like I said, we don't want want a lot of paint over here next to these tape lines. If we do, it'll just be more that we have to try to cover up. You know, it'll have more of a definite line there, and that's what we don't want. Even though this is going to have a lot of clear on it, you know, there's no real need in killing ourselves trying to hide a line behind it. Alright, so we're going to come off. So we'll start out about right here. Now, what I'm trying not to do is build up. This is about the middle of my tank. I want to leave the center, about 6 inches of this tank, a good clean black, but I don't want a hard line here. So I've took this tack cloth and sort of made me a soft line. So if any of the overspray gets up there, then it won't leave such a hard line like tape would. It'll sort of drift. And that's more of what we're wanting. Tiny little lip right there. Alright, for our first layer, I believe that'll get it. What I'm going to do is I'll shut the camera off. I'll go do the other side, and we'll come back with our first coat of candy, and I'll cut you back on. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we've got our, get you where you can see somewhat anyway. We've got our lemon candy yellow. We're going to go over this first coat of white, and we've reduced it about 10%, we added about, you can see what's in there, we added about 3 drops of this balancing clear to sort of help stop some of the bleed back through the rest of the candy colors. So let's see what we come up with. Now, I don't want to get down in here too much. This is going to be really red down in here. So I don't want to get, you know, too much yellow down in here. And the trick to this candy is light coats. The more coats you put on, the more dominant the color is going to be. But if you put too much on at one time, it has a texture almost like a fisheye, almost. It's a little bit hard to explain. You'd have to spray it to see. So I'm nowhere near full trigger. Nowhere near. Just hazing it on there. And you don't have to, like I said earlier, you don't have to be super exact with this stuff. It doesn't show up on black. So where there's no white, you won't see any color. But we don't want to leave any white. The guy I'm painting this bike for said he wanted more red in his flames than any other color. But the look, I know the look he's going for, and that look will come. But you've got to add your base colors in there first. See, this yellow will mix with the rest of the candies, and there'll be a little bit of yellow, there'll be some orange, and it'll transition into red, and you'll see it as it comes along. But right now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut you back off and do the other side of this fender, and then we'll bring you back. All right, we cleaned our gun out. Now we've gone back with the opaque white, and I know I keep running my head into this camera, guys. Don't mean to make you seasick. Alright, now we're going to go on with our second layer of flames. Let's turn this air pressure down just a little bit. Down to about 28 pounds. And the trick here is to not go over what you've already done. You want to try to picture you know, what a real flame would look like, the depths and the different things that go on with it. And you try to mimic that. I put that white on a little thick. I need to be careful around that area now because it'll be wet a little bit longer. So I want to come off. Come in about right here. A weird little lick right there. That's a nice one. I like that. And we'll come about right here. Another one right there. We'll get this about like so. Alright, I'm going to flip you off. We'll go do the other side.